Hello, this is Jerry Zremski from the Buffalo News Washington Bureau, coming to you again with my weekly summary of what we can expect in terms of the news from the nation's capital in the days ahead. I'm just back from a week of vacation, and I'm starting at realizing that this should be a very, very busy news week. First and foremost, I'm going to be covering a story that I've been covering for quite some time now, and that is the future of the Niagara Falls Air Reserve Station. As you may well know, if you've been reading my stories, the Pentagon has put forth a plan, actually the Air Force has put forth a plan that would essentially eliminate the Air National Guard unit in Niagara Falls. Well, that could change, and that could start changing this week, and that's because the House Armed Services Committee on Wednesday will be considering legislation that will undo a lot of the Air National Guard cuts that the Air Force had suggested. Now, this is just one step in the process, and I'll be writing about that today. I'll be writing about some of the details of the bill and what the committee is going to be considering today. But the real action will be on Wednesday when the committee actually votes on this legislation, so I'll be there to cover that. Again, one step in the process. This still would have to go to the full House. The Senate also is dealing with similar legislation, and so we're really weeks, if not months, away from a total resolution of this issue. But still, this bill that the House Armed Services Committee is considering on Wednesday would be a major step forward for the Niagara Falls unit that's slated for elimination, because what this legislation looks like, from my early glances at it, it would reduce the number of cuts that there would be, and it wouldn't determine exactly what those cuts would be, but it would give the Air National Guard unit at Niagara Falls a better fighting chance for survival in the coming year. So that's priority one this week, but it's of course not the only thing I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be having meetings along with other reporters with two very important legislators who are intimately involved in the campaign for the House and control of the House in 2012. That would be Representative Pete Sessions from Texas, the head of the Republican campaign committee, and Steve Israel of Long Island, the head of the Democratic campaign committee. I'm looking to talk to them about a couple of races that are very important to us in Western New York. Of course, the race in the new 27th district, which will pit Kathy Hochul, the incumbent Democrat, against either former Erie County executive Chris Collins or David Bellavia, the Iraq War veteran, who are vying for the Republican nomination. In addition, we'll be talking about the race in the Rochester-based district between Louise Slaughter, the longtime incumbent Democrat, and Maggie Brooks, the Monroe County executive. I think this will turn into a pretty good story about how the House races are shaping up here 6 months or so before the election. In addition to that, I'm sure there'll be other news coming along, but one thing I want to do beyond the daily news is pay some attention to a conference that the Centers for Disease Control are putting on, and it's about obesity in America. And you may wonder why I would be interested in that from a Buffalo angle, but the truth is this is a major national issue, obesity, in terms of the nation's health, in terms of the nation's fiscal health, because obesity has such a big impact on government spending on health care. So I think I should just go to this conference as I have time this week and learn a little bit more about this, because we are thinking about paying more attention to this issue in the newsroom and as a story, and possibly doing some major work on it. So this would be a good grounding for me as these days move forward. Of course, news could happen, could preclude me from doing that. There are always things that come up that I can't predict on a Monday morning, but that's the way things are looking right now. So I hope you'll be reading my stories, and I hope you'll tune in next week. Thank you very much.